Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm in St Ives and I'm down on one of my favourite beaches, which is Porth Gwydden, and I'm going to go down on the beach in a minute. It's about half an hour before sunrise and I'm going to see what I can get. It's a very high spring tide, and as you may be able to see, there's not an awful lot of beach to be standing on. This is the third time I've come down for sunrise over the last few days. The first day I got a beautiful warm sunrise, a lot of golden colours, but no cloud cover. Second day was total cloud cover, so it was totally grey, and today looks like there's a little bit of clouds, a few high clouds, so maybe there's something there. I'm really trying to get something that evokes tranquility. The last couple of times I came down here, I didn't bring my video camera. I was just trying to focus in on my photography and just take it very peacefully and quiet, and I think I got some nice tranquil pictures. Today I'm trying to do the same, but maybe I'll share some of the experience with you along the way. Okay, let's get down on the beach and see how I get on. So I'm shooting with my 56 1.4. I'm pretty wide here, so trying to work with the depth of field. As you can probably see, the beach is being lit up by the early sunlight, and I'm waiting until the I'm waiting until the waves come in. That was a particularly high one, to try and capture the edge of the waves. And so I'm back button focusing and just waiting. This is going to be a big wave, so yep. So I'm retreating, hopefully not getting my feet wet. If you don't know back button focusing, I've set up my AFL button on my Fuji to be focus. So as the wave's coming in, I lock on using my back button and then grab the picture. So it's a technique that a lot of wedding photographers and portrait photographers use, and it's one that I've got used to in my portrait work, and it's really useful when we're doing this sort of technique. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the colours are going to come out too well this morning. Oh, here's a big one. And, so I've been shooting in aperture priority mode, and at 1.4, 1.8, just to get that really shallow depth of field and pretty high shutter speed. Now that there's colour coming into the clouds, I'm going to switch up to my wider lens, maybe stick on a ND filter and try and capture the lighthouse, which is away to the back there, as the clouds come into colour. So it turns out I came to Cornwall with the kit that I've got ready for going to Istanbul. I'm off to Istanbul with some students next week to go and have a look at some airports. But I've managed to come here without my regular landscape kit, but I do have my 10-24, so that's what I've got on. And if I can, there you go. You can see we're beginning to get a bit of colour on the sky. I've just remembered it's a high tide at 6:30, which is in about 15 minutes, so I've just got some slightly wet feet. Just waiting. You can see, unfortunately, there's a big bank of cloud up here, which is sort of stopping a nice set of colours, but we'll see what we can do. Because we've got this big bank of cloud up here over the on the left-hand side. What I've done is come a little bit further down the beach, try to use some of the rocks on this side of the beach and the steps down onto the beach and some of the beach huts just along the back of the beach to try and get some composition to balance that very heavy cloud over on the right hand side. So that was pretty nice. I hopefully got a few nice pictures. It was totally different than what I was expecting, and I guess that's the story of this particular video, which is you can plan for a particular shoot. Today was meant to have lots of high clouds, probably a little bit of rain, probably some colour in the sky, and I was going to use a 55 to 200 lens to try and get some light on the sea, and managed to forget that lens, and so I went wide. I was using my 10 to 24 instead, and I did a little bit of long exposures, and then this enormous cloud appeared on one side of the bay, and it got some really nice light on it. It was great, but the problem was that it was halfway across the bay, so it sort of put a lot of weight on one side of a frame, and so you had to find something on the other side of the frame to sort of counterbalance that. And I think I've done that. Obviously I'll wait until I get home to find out. But what was the story of the other two days that I came down here? So I'm going to share those pictures in a minute. And as I said earlier, I didn't vlog those days because I was just looking for a little peace and tranquility. And I always find that when I'm trying to video and take pictures at the same time, I never really focus on the photography too much. So, so the first day was a lot of colour in the sky, and the second day was absolutely drab. On the drab day, I ended up doing some long exposures on the next beach over, Bliss, where it was fairly low tide, and there are some rocks down on the beach, which on a long exposure on grey day just really gave a sort of nice calming effect on the pictures. Today, high tide, spring tide, the occasional large wave, which we had to avoid. So mostly successfully. Did get wet at one point, and because it didn't have the lens that I was going for, I had to switch it up. And that's the story. If you don't get what you're expecting, just try and get something. Just respond to the vista in front of you and try and find a picture that works. I'm now getting quite loud here, and actually. We may get a few more pictures yet. Thanks very much for watching, and see you on the next time.